things progress a little so that you can reveal some more details?
Yeah, and actually, there's a couple people on my team that have done Channel 9 videos in the past, and that are developers. Have a little, even though I'm pretty technical, they have a little more street cred than I do. And I want to give them the opportunity to do the follow-ups.
Okay.
So
we'll come and talk to them. And another thing, this just kind of hits me. Do you have a, for Windows Live and for the sidebar, we've got these galleries for gadgets. Do you have any kind of community set up for people who are building additions to?
Yeah, we will. We haven't announced that yet and built it out yet, but we absolutely will have. The analogy that I draw is around Media Center Edition. There's a bunch of online communities. Thegreenbutton.com, for example, is a site a lot of people go to. And we want to enable something very similar to that makes it very easy for people to both communicate, collaborate, and so forth around the concept of a home server and Windows Home Server, but also contribute. So.
Okay, that's actually really cool. So you're going to be able to create a community around people who are enthusiastic about taking this central, really what it's going to be, like the CPU of the home,
right,
and figure out all the ways that it can make your life easier and maybe more interesting. And I'm actually it kind of reminds me of all the stories you hear about, Bill Gates' house. I've never been there. He's never invited me or anything. He's going to, I'm sure, someday. But I've never been there. But he's supposed to have those LCD paintings and everything. And you could use this thing to drive a situation like that, couldn't you?
Yeah, and there's all different levels you can go to with it. What I do in my house with my Windows Home Server that I run is I have a shared folder that I created. It's called Screensaver Pics. And every time I take a picture of my digital camera, a set of digital pictures, and I import them on my client PC, and they get stored on the server, if there's a couple good ones that are really good of the family, of my kids, I'll copy a copy of them into this other folder. That's all I do. And then on the other PCs in the house,
on the folder on your PC,
on the home server.
Oh, okay, all right.
So the home server has shared folders. They're SMB folders. They're just if you net view and you see the list of shared folders. And I've created one called Screensaver Pics. And then on all the PCs in the house that are and really the only one that matters is the one that's in the kitchen. That's my wife's computer. It's just in the kitchen. And it's got a 19-inch monitor on it. That PC is set up so its Screensaver gets its pictures from that folder. And so whenever you walk into the kitchen, if my wife hasn't been using her computer for 15 minutes, that PC, the Screensaver, is cycling through it's about 1,500 pictures that over the years I've dropped into that folder. And so, and we actually, we'll get drawn into it. You'll be in there and browsing through the pictures of the kids and the trips and the family and so forth.
And I know we're running out of time, but there's, the more you tell me, the more I want to know, and I've got, one more thing that I just want to get. So I'm also a Windows Mobile nut, right?
Okay.
I love Windows Mobile. And is there any possibility that, let's say, with all the Windows Mobile 5.0 SDKs and everything, let's say I snapped a photo, and I wrote a little app that uses web service to send this photo back to my home server. Can I do this? And okay, that's awesome.
Yeah, and matter of fact, Chris Gray on my team did a Channel 9 video last year where he actually talked about doing specifically that. But at the time he couldn't talk about home server, so he actually talk about it. But precisely that, absolutely.
So you can do things like that. You can expose Windows. You can expose web services and things like that you built. Okay, that's awesome. Yeah. All right. Final question, I promise. How do you deal with firewalls and things like that are built into most modern routers? People go out, they buy the router, and automatically ports are blocked and such. How do you deal with that?
So we have the ability to via UPnP to reconfigure the router for you if they don't. Unfortunately, they don't all support it. The older ones don't support it, or it's turned off. And then if it's turned off, then we have instructions for how you go.
Cool. So as long as people have UPnP, it'll just go in there and. Well, that's awesome. So you don't actually have to do anything; just plug it in.
Yep.
Okay. Well, cool. Yeah. It's just kind of surprising because in this job I meet a lot of people at this company, and there's so much stuff going on here that I don't know about that is really cool.
Well, we've kind of intentionally kept the product, and I'm giddy with excitement the fact that we've announced it, and
when's it gonna hit the streets?
In the second half of '07.
Okay, so we'll be seeing him this year.
Yep, absolutely.
Very cool. All right, well, thank you for the interview. You got a knock on the
Thank
door.
you.
I've been hearing Outlook emails arrive,
Yeah.
so I better
We're
let
coming.
you go.
Okay.
All right, well, thank you very much for the interview.
Thank
And
you.
I actually don't shake. I'm a germaphobe, but I do knuckles.
Right on.
All right. And yeah, hopefully I'll be back at some point. We can talk about all the crazy stuff. Maybe the people have done. And look at some of the, talk to some of your coders and look at some of the stuff that people have done in the community. Cool. All right. Okay. Cool. Well,